So Sunday, it all happened, Trevor. Just when it looked like Liverpool might be winning the Premier League title, City scored 3 and the rest is history. It's City's title again. Woo! So now, I mean, I must admit, unless you're a Manchester City fan, I can't really be bothered watching the street parade and the buses and all the adulation of the players. But wonderful. It's great for them and they thoroughly deserve it because the final day was sensational.
Amazing.
So they're all on the bus and they're having a few drinks and they're all enjoying it, waving to the fans. The fans are lapping it up. Of course they are. The open-top bus parade. But is there a question to be asked here about behaviour? So we've seen Jack Grealish, and I think many people make Jack something of an easy target, but we'll get into this. Jack, like the others, had a few drinks, clearly. And Bernardo Silva's Instagram story, Grealish is asked what were the secrets to their success against Aston Villa on the Sunday. And Jack replied, number 1, Riyadh. Take him off the pitch as soon as possible. He played like Almiron yesterday. Yesterday. Now, is there a right way and a wrong way to conduct yourself as a top professional, even at a time like that?
Yeah. Listen, I was disappointed when I heard it. I seen the rest of the stuff. I noticed that his voice had gone. He was dancing around. The boys were having a fantastic time, and rightly so. But as soon as he brought in Almiron's name, I was disappointed. I've got to say it's a step too far, because if you look at Almiron, he's had a difficult season. He's living in a foreign country. He scored 1 goal all season, and a fantastic goal it was. And to bring another player... Listen, he said bad things about Bernardo, he said bad things about Mahrez. It's all banter. But when you start name-dropping a player from a different club, I think it's a step too far. And I do feel when Grealish is finished celebrating, he'll probably apologise, because there was no need for it. And I'm sure Newcastle fans are disappointed with Jack for coming out with that. And when you actually look at Jack himself, he's not had a brilliant season. He's obviously won the league. It's his first Premier League title. He's very excited. He's over the moon, euphoric. But I think he's gone a little bit too far with mentioning Almiron's name.
This is the same Jack who said to Jeff Shreves on Sunday, 4 words harder than I thought, when he summed up what life in the Premier League with City has been like. So it's been a challenge for him. And he's had to raise his game. So throwing in the name of Almiron doesn't do him, and certainly Almiron, any favours, does it, Simon?
Well, Almiron's been here for 3 years, so I don't know what Trevor's on about adjusting over the last year. But the bottom line is that it takes Jack Grealish back where he belongs, into moron territory, engaging his mouth before he engages his brain. There's no problem with him having banter with his own teammates. That's absolutely, if someone was to say that he was taking a mickey out of Riyad Mahrez, then you'd say that's banter. They've got that rapport, they've got that relationship. As Trevor says, when you take it out of your domain into another domain and you pick out an individual player and single him out and ridicule him because you think you're in a position to do so, where's that going to end? What does that bring back? Someone somewhere is going to say to you, and by the way, who are you? And what gives you the right to make that comparison? And why would you want to do it? And where does your arrogance stop and your intelligence begin? Because it's just not... Look, I'm sure he meant it tongue-in-cheek, but why pick an individual player? Because obviously, in the back of his mind, he thinks that player's not very good, which is his prerogative. But why does he need to do that to that particular player in a moment when Man City are talking about their success? Why does he think he's on a platform where he can look down on that player? Jack Grealish is a very talented player. He's a long way, in my view, from being a £100 million footballer, and he's incredibly fortuitous to be in a position where he plays in an elite club like Man City that's enabled him to win a Premier League, because I don't think his contribution has taken Man City to that Premier League. I think he's been a bit part player. So he would have been better served saying, take me off the pitch more.
Yes.
And get he did say that to
pointing a bit in front of himself.
Anyway. He was pointing in front of himself. And some of his teammates.
It's a lack of awareness.
I just think it's a step too far bringing other players into it.
Trevor, probably. Let's face it, a few drinks have been had. He's inviting a bit of trouble upon himself, really. So he's making himself something of an easy target.
Yeah, and it was such a positive day. The way the game went, and the absolutely amazing end to that football.
We know all that.
The way the pitch invasion went.
That football match finished.
We know all that.
I think, and then you've got the same
Almiron's name.
The same day he's released a statement that he's the new face of Gucci. So there's so many positives around Jack Grealish at the time.
New face of Gucci. Oh wow, right. Great.
And then on top of that, you're having a bit of banter with the lads. The scenes were brilliant from the city centre and all the rest of it. And then just to go a little bit too far and mention a player. And it's not that Almiron's adjusting. I said he's had a difficult season. I know he's been here 3 years. He's had a difficult season. One, because Newcastle had a difficult season at the start of the season before Eddie Howe came in.
I thought it was a raging success story at Newcastle. Everyone was loving the life.
Well, no, when Eddie Howe came in and new owners,
all around the country, when they see pictures of that in Sky Sports News, their City open top bus period, unless you're a fan of that club, every other supporter goes, oh, really?
Yeah, but that's human nature, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't mean that. I mean, you know my view on Sky spews. I don't think much of them, and I don't think much of what they do. But by definition, people are going to want to see it, and they do want to see these things. So, but I will sit here and go, I'm really not interested in Man City's open top bus or Liverpool's open top bus or whatever. But it's part and parcel of what goes into filling content. I just wish that Jack Grealish would just let his talent be the definer. I realise that they've got personalities, and of course they've got personalities. And the fact that I will very unlikely buy anything Gucci after Jack Grealish has put his little touches in it again is irrelevant, because I'm maybe not the audience.
Did you buy Gucci before?
Yes, I told you the other day. I showed you that picture of that little nitwit stared head to foot in Gucci and on Sloane Street, looking like an absolute buffoon. I said, and that's what Jack Grealish will look like, because we saw him dressed head to foot in making Gucci look like Poundline gear at the boxing match. But the bottom line is I'd like to see Jack Grealish get away from the narrative that's easy to go to with Jack, because it's an easy one in terms of his standing on the side of the road, and and people like me get to call him a moron, and other people of influence, not just me inside football, go, because he is a moron. Now, in this instance, I don't want to call him a moron, but you put yourself in a territory of people are talking about you again for the wrong reason.
Right.
Why?
So show us next season, Jack, that you are indeed a £100 million player. It's 11 o'clock.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.